What is up, everybody? We are MythVision, and you will achieve true gnosis. I got Gnostic Informant with me today here on MythVision, and we're going to go over what is about to happen. It is fitna about to be. That's what I always say to my brother when I'm on the video game. We're going to Israel. We're going to Israel, Palestine. We're going to be going on a tour and checking out some of these sites. Neil, we've never been. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Kuwait. I've been to a couple places in the Middle East, but I've never been to Israel.
I've never been to that hemisphere of the world yet, so this is new for me. So,
absolutely, yeah. I'm definitely excited, dude. This is going to be
a lot of. We'll be there for a while too, so we're going to see a lot of sites. I don't have the list in front of me. Do you?
I do. So I might as well get the plugs out of the way, mentioning go subscribe to Neil. We will bring this up later. Subscribe to Gnostic Informant. Let me put this in the chat. If there's no mods that can do it for me, I'm just going to go ahead and post it. So as you go along, please go subscribe to Neil. Neil's doing a lot of work. He's covering things that I'm not. We both are doing similar stuff. We overlap, but there's a lot that we're doing that's different. So go subscribe to Neil. He has curiosity on trying to discover ancient stuff. And of course, we have the membership option as well, so you could stand out among the rest of the crowd. In fact, if you see this little face here in the middle, am a member of Neil. So
nice.
You can become a member of him. You can become a member of us here. I meant to put it on subscriber mode only, and then I had it on member mode before we started here. And I was like, oh, snap. Nobody's going to be able to comment unless you're a member. Also, I notified letting the Patreon know, I've got 6 already out of 12 episodes that I did with Paula. I have, I don't know, probably 10 to 12, maybe 8. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating here. It might be like 7 or 8 with James Tabor that I did in Charlotte before I moved from North Carolina that I need to edit and get up. We also have a Mark course that I did with him that's going to be coming up when we get back from Israel. I've got a Quest for the Historical Jesus course coming up with M. David Litwa. And might as well just plug that right now we have the Ancient Greek Mystery course with M. David Litwa. You can go and get it from Neil.
Wait, you said M. David Litwa for the course for the historical Jesus, but that's not. It's Dale
C. Allison Jr. Yeah. Good reminder. We're about halfway done editing that course. I recorded that one before I recorded the one with Tabor. But this one's available. You can get it in the description here, or you can go to Neil at Gnostic Informant. And you can get it through him, which actually helps Neil out when you purchase it through him. He is an affiliate, so he gets a little percentage out of the total of what it costs to get the course. And then we have the Finding Moses course. That's in the description of my channel as well. You want to find Moses, or you want to find out how we can't find Moses, go check out the course. But it is going to be interesting. It is. Absolutely. So as far as the showing here, I was going to show, first of all, if you go to jamestabor.com, Dr. James Tabor's blog, you can actually go and just type in like I did, because I'm an idiot. And I type in the search bar, Israel, if I could spell, trip. And then you find out he's even advertised a lot of MythVision stuff, where I actually interviewed Scott Stripling when he first discovered this curse tablet. And of course, I can't wait for the peer review skeptical scholars to come and show and be like, no, he's not saying this. He's not showing that. Here's the problem. But anyway, if you go right below that, are you ready to travel? Israel in October 2022. And this is where I went and saw the plug. It's full, there's no more room, but Blossoming Rose, Walk the Ancient Paths. This is the tour we're going to be taking. And I just wanted to show you how I got to where I'm at. So if you're interested in looking up the itinerary yourself, you can go and it'll take you here. Can you see that clearly, or should I zoom in like that?
Oh, you can see it. Yeah, that's better, actually.
That's better?
Yeah.
Okay, so see the sites, go behind the scenes, experience the Holy Land on a level that most tours miss. These are tour highlights showing our people that are going to be taking us on the tour, which is James Tabor and Ross K. Nichols. So be on the lookout for that. But here's our itinerary so that people understand what we're doing. And we're going to be getting there a day before everybody else. So that's going to be interesting. Did you want to say anything, Neil?
No, I can't wait for this. So day one, what do we got for day one? Let's talk about that.
Well, day one, we get there, we fly in overnight, arriving in Israel on Saturday, October 22nd. We must be at the airport 3 hours early to get, catch our ride, if you will. They're going to be taking us to Netanya Hotel. And so we'll be being able to spend the night, I guess, in
and we will be going live to sort of have discussions with people and have a super chat thing going, whatever. We're just gonna go live every night. It's not gonna be uploading the content from what we're there from. That's all gonna get pre-recorded with 4K cameras and get edited later and put up on our Patreons and some free content as well. Yeah. But I just want to make sure people understand we're not going to be going live, like looking at the site and stuff. That's going to be at nighttime discussing like what's going on and just having a conversation laid back, me, you, and Tabor.
Absolutely. Day two saying, we arrive at Ben Gurion Airport at 6 p.m. We will drive north on our chartered bus along the Mediterranean coastal plain. We'll check into our hotel, settle into our rooms in Netanya. We'll spend the first night in Israel at a luxurious hotel. And then day three, I think, is when it starts to spice up. We head to the north head north to Galilee, to Caesarea Maritima. Am I saying that properly?
Wow,
I think it's Maritima. The city built by Herod the Great, 25 to 13 BCE, named to flatter Caesar. This site is situated on the Mediterranean coast between Tel Aviv and Haifa. We will discuss Paul's imprisonment here before moving on to Rome to make his appeal to Caesar, which you find that in Acts, of course. We'll then visit the ancient city of Sepphoris, the urban capital of Herod Antipas, where Dr. Tabor has excavated. There we will learn about the latest unpublished discoveries at that site. Next, we will take
basically Nazareth. It's basically Sepphoris. It would be like Sepphoris would be like Boston. If no. Yes, if the Galilee was New England, Sepphoris would be Boston, and Nazareth would be like a little suburb of that. That's like how you would compare it. Sepphoris is the big city of Galilee.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be all up on that. I suspect he's going to take us to local houses and stuff like that. We'll take in a view of the Galilee from Mount Tabor. What better than to have Dr. Tabor take us on to Mount Tabor, right? The site of the battle between Barak and Sisera, Judges 4, and the traditional site of the transfiguration of Jesus. Mind you, as we go, we are skeptical, of course. And Dr.
that's the thing. Hold that thought, because this is important. Most people who do these, traveling YouTube videos where they go to like Egypt or Israel or somewhere, a lot of times you get it from like, believers, nothing, whatever people believe. And you get an approach of, here's where Luke chapter 2, 3, this is where it happened. This is exactly what Derek and I are going with, a critical approach. We're going to question some stuff. It's not just going to be, here's where Mary was in this chapter. Like, it's not just going to be like that. We're going to be going full blown in detective mode in this when we get there.
Yeah. And Dr. Tabor, I think, also is going to be like that, because he's going to say, hey, this is a 4th century site. This is a 3rd century site. This is not 1st century. And we know that because the layer, he'll get into the archaeology and going into this, explaining the layers and show you that, hey, this is definitely not 1st century layers that we're dealing with here. This is later. And we know the church has obviously capitalized on or monopolized on creating relics, creating sites, creating tourism in this region of the Holy Land. So you have to be very cautious when you approach this stuff. And I know that that's something that Dr. Tabor will be able to point out. And at the end of the day, we either know or we don't know. And that'll be an interesting thing to explore.
And that's why Tabor is going to be so central to all this, because he's been there so many times. He's been there 72 times. This is his 73rd time going. And he just has it. He just knows it like the back of his hand. So we're going to have really good resources while we're there.
Oh, 100%. And by the way, the font, I feel like it's really small, but if I go any further in, it's not going to cover it. So
I can read it. Well, okay. I am reading it on a screen, so I don't know how a phone would look, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will continue toward Tiberias, founded sometime around 20 CE by Herod Antipas, son of the Herod the Great, who made it the capital of his realm in Galilee. And we'll make our way to our hotel, the Tiberias Leonardo Club, where we will spend 2 nights.
Damn.
This hotel is situated in the heart of the city's promenade. Am I saying that right? Promenade? Just surrounded by shopping and is only a short walk from the Sea of Galilee, which will be a really fun thing to do. Day 4, and that was in just day 3 there. Day 4, Caesarea Philippi, Tel Dan, Golan Heights, lunch in Drew's Village, Mount Hermon, wine tasting. My wife might want to indulge, and chocolate. This is going to be like a lot of fun. We begin our tour of the Galilee with a stop at Caesarea Philippi, mentioned in the Synoptic Gospels as a place where Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do men say that I am?" Next, we will visit the site of Tel Dan, where according to 2 Kings 10:29 and 2 Chronicles 13:8, Jeroboam led the northern kingdom of Israel away from the true faith, and even Abraham visited. We then travel to up in the Golan to the borders of Syria and Lebanon, where we have lunch at Drew's Village. From there, we will see the foot of Mount Hermon. We will discuss the prophetic significances of this holy place, Psalms 133. On our way back to Tiberias, we will make a delightful stop at Kibbutz.
It's also my birthday, too.
This is the wine tasting. Oh, dude, you're getting... By the way, Dr.
Wait. Day 5's the wine tasting day? Are you kidding me?
Day 4. Day 4.
Oh, I just missed it. I would have had a birthday party.
Hold on, your birthday. No, you are going to have a birthday party. Dr. Tabor already told me.
Oh,
maybe I hope I'm not spoiling it.
Surprise, bro. No, I think.
Well, no, we already talked about we were going to celebrate it while you were there, but let's hope that the celebrations are a blast, because Tabor, you know, I'm sure he's going to want to really enjoy it after the tour that day. We'll be able to go and hang out. But
Old City Night Walk.
Is it the 25th?
The 25th, yeah.
Bro, guess what?
Guess how old I'll be. You're gonna laugh.
Well, I'm 34, so you'll be 32.
No, I'm turning 33.
33.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh, you're getting crucified.
I'm going to Jerusalem at the same age that Jesus went to Jerusalem.
We're crucifying you, bro. Allegedly. We're not playing that game.
Yeah.
And get this. This is another shock. On the 25th of October is my 7 years of being off of heroin.
Yeah, we talked about this. Your anniversary for your clean date is my birthday.
Yep.
What the fuck? That's so crazy.
I know. What in the world, man?
And I'm coming up on 5 years for my sobriety in December. So,
well, you're getting crucified.
Yeah,
I'm celebrating.
You're 2 years ahead of me in almost everything. Your channel started 2 years before me. You're
right.
2 years older than me. You're 2 years clean. You've been clean 2 years longer than me. It's like it's weird. There's a lot of weird shit with you.
You're my lost doppelganger. Anyway, yeah, we're going up toward let's see. We'll go to Gennesaret. I'm butchering names here, I'm sure, where the first century fishing boat was found in 1986, and that's the boat that they would have said Jesus and the Galilean fishermen on the Sea of Galilee before it was changed to Lake Tiberias would have been using those exact type of boats. And we'll have all this stuff recorded with Dr. Tabor's commentary, and then you and me giving commentary and recording videos and stuff. Also on our own boat ride on the Sea of Galilee, where we will watch a sunset. We will spend the night in Tiberias at the Tiberias Leonardo Club. Holy smokes, that'll be awesome. Day 5.
By the way, I want to make sure that people know as much as possible. I will be putting my phone out to go live and just to keep you guys in the loop with us. Like, just to why not? You know,
why not? Like, most people,
this channel is the reason why I'm going. So the people who watch are the reason why I'm going. So I can't just enjoy all this without trying to connect with the people who are putting me there in the first place.
Well, there's a lot of people who've never been. There's a lot of people who will never go. And there's a lot of people who may not be able to, for whatever reason, health or other legal issues that the list can go on and on, or even the fear. I mean, look, dude, we're dealing with a world right now where dictators and people who are narcissist leaders can possibly press buttons that end entire civilizations. And so there's the fear of people going. And so we're taking huge risks, going over here. And so we're hoping that you can vicariously live through our recordings and throughout what we bring back, so that you can at least see it on the ground from people who aren't trying to package it as if like, well, this is really what really literally happened. But if there is something that is valid or something that could be accepted there, I think it's worth bringing that up. So
yeah,
I got to give the shout out to people who are throwing some money at us here. Of course, super chats always come first. Inquisitive Mind says, Jerusalem, the city that Muhammad wanted. Luke 13:33. And it talks about that a prophet, it's the city of Jerusalem where a prophet always goes and dies. And that is where they end up at. And so you have to imagine if the tradition in Islam down in Arabia has this overwhelming lean to where they're aware of these traditions, would he as a prophet have seen it necessary to go and take Jerusalem or to be in this location? I think there's probably something to it. Thank you, Ghost of MythVision. Damon says, enjoy the trip. Thank you for the support. Appreciate the super chat for real. And then Pat Lowinger says, I want you to spend this on some completely commercialized faith-based souvenir. The tackier, the better. Do you want me to come back with like some fake archaeological finds or something? Like, here's the coin Jesus actually said.
Who is this? Who is the archaeologist that used to do that? There was a famous archaeologist that used to always find all this crazy stuff, and like it was always like fake or something. Like we pull one of those, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
I found the true cross, guys. For 2,000 years, nobody found it. I just found it. I just dug it up randomly.
Look at Jesus underwear. We have them on sale today. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. We'll have to do something and bring it back. And look, yeah, someone says they sell dirt in a jar. That's not a lie. My dad was over in Jordan many years back during the wars and stuff, and they went and found like a marble pathway that was down there right on the Jordan, and there was this claim, this is where Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. So my dad and his friends, my dad's Roman Catholic, right? So he's like really devout about this idea of like sacred places and saints, and water has power and stuff like that. So like he's dipping it down, and it's the nastiest yellow swamp water looking crap. And he's like, this is holy water. Like this is right there where Jesus was baptized. So he brought all this water back and noticed that it wasn't, you could probably find a way to ship it, but he was able to carry it on his military aircraft back, because you can't fly with liquids like that.
Right,
you know what I mean? And we used to tell our friends that would come over, look, this is water right there where Jesus baptized. Like people really believe this kind of stuff. Yeah. So
it's funny.
Look, Israel Uncovered. If you need a tour guide, I'm your man. DM on Insta. Well, we got Dr. James Tabor. So he'll be there for he's been there 73 times or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to if things work out, or he's there, we're there. But I have to follow Tabor's lead. Like, it's not really my choice. You know what I'm saying? But I'm open to whatever happens. Well, I'm not going to avoid you or avoid your help. If it's possible, let's do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know that as far as that goes, I've had some people wanting to meet up. You'd have to probably meet up if you lived there after hours, because I suspect the tour, they're wanting to make sure that people who haven't paid or whatever, that are just trying to jump into the midst of the tour, that might become a conflict. But after we're done and we're at the hotel or something, why not?
We'll figure something out.
Come celebrate Neil's birthday.
We're going to see Tobias Singer there. So
yeah, I'm sure we'll bump into him. There's all sorts of stuff that I hope we get to cover. I wanted to bounce back because, first of all, just no point in having this up the whole time, but also, but yeah, day 5, we begin our tour. Stop at Magdala on the shores of the sea, the home of Mary Magdalene, visiting the recent archaeological discoveries that are transforming our understanding of the first century Galilee. We then take in the breathtaking view of the Sea of Galilee from the Arbel Cliffs.
There's a famous stone there called the Magdala Stone. I wonder if we'll see that.
We will see the ruins of an ancient synagogue and drive past the historic horns of Hattin, believed by some to be the authentic site of the Sermon on the Mount. Believed by some. That I think if they were
believed by some, it's always what is he saying there?
Yeah, I'm curious to have him actually give us the commentary and what's really going on here and why.
No, but I like that about Tabor, is that he's he's not just shutting down the one side and just he's giving everybody a fair shake. Believers, non-believer. Tabor is straight. He's the most in the middle scholar you're ever going to find.
Right.
I honestly think that about Tabor.
Yeah, no. He is this guy that if you're a mythicist, you're not down with it at all. Because he actually wants to grant there's probably something there. But if you're like a believer, he's just not a believer enough. And in a lot of, and you're gonna get pissed off by what he has to say. His book stirred up a bunch of controversy. The Jesus Dynasty. What are you looking at?
Look who's in the chat.
Okay, look, your favorite goy are on their way. All right. I found out, I mean, it's kind of funny as you start to research this stuff that like supposedly goy is like a derogatory term or can be used that way. And I'm like, I don't find that offensive at all. Like, I just don't get it. But anyway, I'm going to come and see you and the rest of the rulers of the world, Rabbi. I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait either.
Yeah. We're going to have some people really, really ticked once we meet up with you. Anyway, next, we'll travel to Capernaum, where Jesus made his headquarters and moved his family. Here, we'll tour a 3rd century synagogue built upon the visible remains of a 1st century synagogue and see the recently uncovered remains of the 1st century port. We'll make a stop at the Jordan River at a popular Baptist. That might be the place, but there's probably 100 of them. Who knows? Those who choose to immerse themselves in the waters of the Jordan may do so. You want to go get in the Jordan? Jump in the Jordan. We will then travel towards Jerusalem, stopping at the spectacular ancient ruins of the Roman city of Beth Shean. Am I saying that right? Sheen? Beth Sheen? Bet. Sorry, Bet. I'm probably not giving the proper, like, there's got to be some in here when you go to pronounce these. Finally, we will check into the King Solomon Hotel in Jerusalem. Dude, we're not just staying at one hotel now.
I know, we're bouncing around. I like
this.
That.
Yeah.
I've never had a trip like this in my life, dude.
Me neither.
Never been able to like afford trips like this or do this is completely foreign to me. This is kind of exciting, to be honest, but yeah.
Dude, every hotel has a happy ending, I hear. I'm just kidding. Where we will spend 3 nights. This luxury hotel surrounded by local attractions and within walking distance of the old city. On our first night in Jerusalem, there will be an optional evening walk to the old city. We will enter the famed Jaffa Gate, making our way through the winding streets from the Christian quarter through the Armenian quarter, finally reaching the Jewish quarter to visit, among other things, the Western Wall. Dude, I hope we get to enter the court of the Gentiles. That would be really cool. And then like see if there's anything there that's left from what we can see other than the wall itself. That will be a blast.
The walls. That's where the wall is you're talking about?
Yeah, where the wall. I think this is where the wall is. Where when we go on our little video app, story blocks.
Yeah, you got all those videos.
The Jewish guys are like rocking.
It's an iconic place, man. It's an iconic place. We're gonna feel the energy there for sure.
Oh yeah, they say there's a lot of tension in the air on trying to get to the wall. Who was that told me like? They're like, watch out. I want to record like right in front of it. You know what I mean? If I can. I don't know. I don't think Rabbi's still in the chat. I'm curious to know if we're allowed to record like right in front of that wall and like.
I mean, how else do they get videos for Storyblock?
I see that, but I'm saying like a live
stream
had a
permit.
Or something.
Yeah, they might have had a permit.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Tabor's got the permits though, so right.
Absolutely. Oh man, we're getting a lot of tags. Should we go up here and read a few of these chats here as we go?
Of course.
It's hard to find everybody. There's just so many tags. So it's like super chat, cut the line, super chat. Plus it helps us out. You could join Nate Bazolik from the Vampire Diary. He's a Christian, does biblical tours. We already got a tour guide. Splitting the Red Sea. I might do something like that. I'm afraid if I do, they might send one of the, Caesars might actually send someone after me if I try and do something like that. Yeah, we might go to Mount Gerizim and like figure out there's some treasure there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Derek, you damn better find God's original holy mountain. If you don't come back with it I'm going to go all faked moon landing on you.
Right.
Did you just make that noise?
That was a ad popped up on.
Oh my God! I was about to say, what was that noise?
Something just popped up. That's
drawing
kind of weird.
JoJo. I don't.
Oh,
Israel.
Thank you for that drawing. It was interesting. It was great, by the way. I did show it on my video. I don't know if you saw it. There's a video. It was months ago.
Yeah.
I've showed it on my channel. But yeah, we could probably do something like that. We'll show it again. Thank you.
All right. Trying to see. Don't forget, Jay's Forbeck. Don't forget to consult the Jewish Orphica before you go. Make sure the augurs of Aristobulus bless the trip.
The augurs got to give us a good omen. You know what the augurs are? They're Roman priests who use birds for omens, and they carry the staff that has it looks like a spiral. The staff of the spiral.
Yeah.
They carry those in their hands, and they're like, if a pigeon flies by or a dove flies by, it means something. So
right.
We got to consult them before we go. See how the trip's going to be.
Just so JH knows, I think we are going to be able to go down into Gehenna, or the Valley of Gehenna. And I was hoping there's somebody who works there and just be like, how does it feel to work in hell? Jokingly, because there's some people who think that the Valley of Gehenna is, of course, where the trash dump supposedly was. But I don't know if we have any archaeological evidence to say that happened. But anyway.
Yeah.
JS says, Mount Hermon, dwelling place of the gods. Absolutely. Okay, going back to our tour guide, day 6. We will begin our day with a visit to the Garden Tomb, considered by many Protestant Christians to be the site of Jesus' burial and resurrection, but dated by Israeli archaeologist Gabriel Barkay to the 8th or 7th centuries BCE. Like as if that's when the burials really took place? I don't know. We will then take a bus ride at the top of Mount of Olives. From this vantage point, we will look towards the west and view the Temple Mount. We will walk down the Mount of Olives, visiting several places of interest along the way, including Dominus Flevit. I'm horrible with this. The Garden of Gethsemane. That'll be fun. The Church of All the Nations. Our walk will take us deep into the Kidron Valley and then up to Mount Zion. Along the way, we will visit the traditional sites of the Upper Room and King David's tomb, where recent archaeological excavations have reshaped our understanding of these places. We will also visit the newly discovered authentic site of Pontius Pilate's judgment seat with the Gabbatha pavement. Did I lose you, Neil? I lost Neil. He's coming back. I'm butchering some of these names, so forgive me.
There we go.
All right, I lost you for a second. So we're going to be seeing Pontius Pilate's judgment seat. That'll be a fun one I'm looking forward to. And the Praetorium that is rewriting the entire history of the understanding of the first century Jerusalem. We will end our day with the tour of the Tower of David's Museum, or of the Tower of David Museum, where we will review the history of the city of Jerusalem and of the citadel itself, parts of which date back 2,000 years. Interesting. We're coming back to when he pops back up. He should just show back up. It should pop up. Inquisitive Mind says Gerizim and Moriah are on a mountain. Look at Mecca. Absolutely. I'm just not going that far south. Run into first of Frank Turnett's tours. Get it? Yeah, you're right, man. Should drop Dr. Tabor and go to Frank Turek's tour. I'm sure I'll get him a very scholarly approach to these sites, Neil, you had to go back, didn't you? What's up with the camera, bro?
I'm having issues with this dock. This USB dock, it keeps turning off. It's just something on my computer.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's bad. I don't even know. I haven't never seen it this bad before, but I'm sorry about that.
No. You're fine. I'll blame you later. No worries. So he keeps popping out. Day 8. There's a lot of days here. We'll come back to day 8 just to show you. So we're catching our flights on day 12 back. So let's continue this. Day 8. On this day, we'll leave Jerusalem and begin our journey south, stopping at Qumran, where the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. There, Dr. Tabor will tell us about his own excavations and discoveries, and we will visit the ruins of the settlement and see the famous caves where nearly 800 ancient scrolls were discovered. Next, we will visit the beautiful En Gedi, where among things David hid from Saul. We'll take a hike and enjoy the wildlife as we make our way to the caves and waterfalls. We will then continue on to the southern biblical border of Israel to Tamar, Ezra 47 to 48, and move into our rooms at Biblical Tamar Park. So we've got a whole nother hotel, and it talks about where it's located. I'm going to just skip that. Day 9, we awaken to a peaceful Sabbath, filling the stillness of the desert as the sun rises over the Jordanian mountains. Those who want to rise early can climb Prayer Mountain and watch the sunrise. We will have a Sabbath morning Bible study after breakfast, talking about the historic area where we are staying and the role it played in the lives of Moses, Elijah, Jeremiah, Jesus, and even Paul. Some may want to take a short bus ride to Scorpion's Pass, mentioned in the Bible as the Akaribim, forgive me, ascent. We will visit an ancient Roman tax station and then ride to the Haziva Research Center to learn of various efforts to green the desert. After will lead us on a walk into the desert to the gravesite of Simcha Perlmutter, and share stories of this desert rabbi who founded Kibbutz
Desert Rabbi. I like that.
Now renamed Biblical Tamar Park. Everyone will be welcome to sit around the sukkah fire before going to our rooms. Now, is this where on day 9, is this where we're going to Masada, or is
day 10? Look. And now it's funny because that's like one of the last, that's like the second last day. It's the last like big thing we're doing. Mm-hmm. And the last stand of the Second Temple period was Masada. Like,
right.
It's the end.
We're going up that thing, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
Yes, it is.
That's going to be like, I don't know. I don't even know how I'm going to process that.
That'll be cool, man.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. And if we can get close to the edge to be able to see, like,
we got to. I got 4 batteries ready for two bunch of memory cards ready to go. We're ready. I'm just not going to be a time where I can't record. I'm always going to be able to record. I've enough. We're good to go. And
absolutely.
So do you too. So
yeah, I bought a whole bunch of extra batteries and I've got multiple cameras. So we're gonna have
both of us got 4K. Both of us.
Yeah. Should be really good quality.
Yeah.
We'll begin our day with a special tour of the archaeological site at Biblical Tamar, learning of the ongoing work at the site to uncover evidence of occupation from the 10th century BC through the modern era. Next, we will board our bus and go to visit the ancient fortress of Masada, known today as the site where 960 revolutionary Jewish holdouts died rather than surrender to the Romans. Some will choose to hike the famed snake path up the side of Masada, while others will take the cable car to the top. We're going to hike that joker. We will learn that Masada was originally built by the Maccabees. My wife might have to go up the other route. I don't know. I don't even know if she'll feel comfortable going up. She's afraid of heights. We will learn that Masada was originally built by the Maccabees and fortified by Herod the Great between 37 and 31 BCE as a refuge for himself in the event of a revolt. From the top of Masada, you will be able to look down upon the ruins of Roman encampments. We will visit an ancient synagogue without walls atop Masada. We will then stop at a public beach along the Dead Sea, where we will be able to shop and float in waters of the Dead Sea, after which we will go back to Tamar for dinner and then pack for our return home for the following day. We're going to be swimming in that joker.
I can't believe we're doing all this, like all this stuff. Like we're not wasting a second.
Absolutely. No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I've been told by a few academics, be careful, don't get caught up thinking everything is what it seems, because, relics and sites and things like that. But if you have some data that we can go off of, that will be good.
Well, that's going to be the difference between you and me and like everyone else that does these kind of videos where they travel out there. We're looking for the data and the evidence and what logically what makes sense in this situation. What's really happening here?
Absolutely. Inquisitive Mind says, I meant they are on a mountain compared to Mecca. I think that was referring to the earlier super chat. Gerazim and Moriah are on a mountain. Look at Mecca. So thank you for that super chat, my friend. Really appreciate that. Let's get the last one, and then we can comment and just hang out, just so everybody knows. Day 11, we will depart Biblical Tamar Park on the journey back to Jerusalem, to the heart of southern Israel, passing Beersheba and stopping along the way in the valley of Elah, where David encountered Goliath. We will walk the stone-filled brook, marking the location just below the ancient ruins of Kirbet. I'm not even going to butcher it. Dating to the time of David and Solomon, just south of Jerusalem, Dr. Tabor will lead us on a rare and special visit to the sites of the Talpiot Jesus family tombs that some think belong to Joseph of Arimathea, and he will reveal the very latest regarding their discovery and research, as well as future plans at the site. We will also have a spectacular view of the city of Jerusalem from the south along the historic promenade, experience the vantage point Abraham would have had in coming up to Mount Moriah. We will then visit the Israel Museum. Here we will see the large model of Herodian Jerusalem, visit the Shrine of the Book, and walk through the museum's exhibits for the biblical period. After our visit to Israel Museum, we will depart for Ben Gurion Airport for our flights home. At what point in this tour do you think I'll be able to go through Hezekiah's tunnel? Where would that be, toward the end when we're back in Jerusalem, or would it be? Do you know, Neil?
Say that again.
You know, Hezekiah's tunnel.
Yeah.
I want to go down through that tunnel in the earth. But my question is, like, when during this would we have time after, like, tour?
Well, which day are we in that area?
That's a great question.
Because I think there's a spot we're going to that's like right next to it where we could just walk down. Tabor actually mentioned that. Talked about that at the being able to go down there.
Wow.
But I'm not sure which day that is, but I'm guessing it's when we're in Jerusalem, obviously, right?
I would imagine, yeah, because that's where it's at. And we're leaving day after tomorrow. So
yeah,
that's when we're flying out.
Day after tomorrow night, right?
I don't know, for you, it's probably tomorrow night because you're 3 hours ahead of me. So we're probably leaving in the midday. The flight's gonna suck.
Oh man, I've been thinking about that. I got books though. I'll be able to read. Yeah, I got Robin Face Wealth coming on right when we come back. So I'm gonna read all her stuff and also the Satyricon by Petronius. I'm gonna have all that in my brain ready to go.
You need it.
Fresh.
You're gonna need it. So be on the lookout. That's gonna be good. Gnostica, thank you for that super chat. I was in Israel on a church Christian pilgrim tour.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah, I imagine that I want to go see the sites, even if they're like a bunch of stuff that might be made up or later material. One of them is I do want to go see the what is it, the cathedral that they have there?
Yeah.
In Jerusalem.
Yeah. That's probably the day. That's probably the day we'll be able to go down and check out that tunnel.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Pull that back up. Which day is it that we're in? Like, I think it's the city of David, right? The old city, or is it? No, I don't think it is actually. It's just regular Jerusalem, I think.
You would imagine that we're going to the Galilee out the gate. That's
so it'd probably be like day 5 or 6.
5 is Magdala, so we're still kind of up there near Galilee.
To the north, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mount of Olives.
That's it. Day 6. Day 6. Garden of Gethsemane. That's it. That Garden of Gethsemane is just east of the city of Jerusalem.
Right.
Well, that's like right there. That's right where the tunnel is.
Yep.
So that's it. Day 6 will be the day we'll be able to see the tunnel.
That'll be awesome. Day 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Either one.
Right. Yeah. 7. Yeah, 7. Yeah. Those 2 days basically.
That's gonna be
this is incredible. This is just incredible.
Yep. Absolutely. Couple super chats. Check you out. Jim says, are you going to the Garden of Gethsemane where Jesus was supposedly arrested with a young boy? The way that you said that, Jim.
It's true.
The way that you said that. Yeah, we're supposed to go there. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's we just said that day 5 or day 6, I think you said. Whatever.
Yeah. I look forward to this trip. This will be something else. At least I'll have a better understanding of what's on the ground. And Walker says, crack open a cold one for me on Masada.
Nice.
Well, that'd be you, Neil. You'd have to be the one willing to crack
open. I don't. I mean, I'll drink a glass of wine and stuff like that.
I'll crack open.
I'll but I'm not like a heavy drinker. Hell, no, that's not gonna happen.
Me neither. I don't drink at all, actually. I used to.
Yeah.
But I'll crack open a cold water for you. How about that? We might even, if the internet there is decent, and I would hope, but we're talking about in the middle of the desert here. We'll see. If my internet service on my phone is decent while I'm out there, bro, I'm popping that joker on. Hey, we are MythVision. We are on Masada now. Okay. I can see the Roman troops coming up the side of the mountain right now. Listen, pick a straw, as Josephus says. All right. Oh, I'm just the lucky one who didn't have to die here. Everybody else committed suicide but me.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, we'll try and go live if we have connection, and we'll definitely be recording in high quality along the way.
Definitely.
Thank you for that support. Inquisitive Mind says, Dome of the Rock is Solomon's temple, Bet Mikdash. Yes, it is. I hope to go and record there as well. I'm hoping there's not too much strife, because there's a lot that can happen there, I hear. And then Ricky Johnson says, I'm happy for both of you guys. I hope you have an amazing trip. We hope so too.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Ricky. Appreciate that. Thank you for those super chats. What are you hoping to get out of this, Neil? I want to ask you before we wrap things up. I didn't want this to be too long, but I wanted to,
honestly, that's like, so you and I talk about these subjects on our channels. We talk about events that happen in these lands, and this is going to be essential to be able to get ourselves immersed in the geography of this place. So to have better understanding of where things are, it's going to give us a more solid understanding of these topics in general. So this is going to help going forward when we're doing what we do, interviewing scholars on these subjects. But also, I really want to make content that's not just like, for today, like, like you watch the news and it's for, October 18th, 2023. And it's just about, in like a year from now, no one's watching that. It's done. That's just relative to now. I want to make content that's relative to somebody 20 years from now.
Yeah.
I want to make timeless content that's good for anybody at any time.
Right.
And not just specific towards a type of believer or a type of mythicist or it's just anybody who watches this can get something out of it.
Right. And that's one of the reasons it's good to have someone who's a scholar who can like parse through it and say, hey, this is when scholars say, not just the faithful, even though the faithful will be given, there's going to be a lot of that'll be mentioned.
This would be almost not pointless, but to make it an academic thing, we wouldn't be able to do it without someone like Tabor. It would just be a trip. It would just be a fun trip.
Yeah.
Having someone like Tabor, who's been there 72 times.
I think this will be 73. Yeah.
We can get something real from this. Like I hear, not to get like combative or anything, but like you hear people like Ralph Ellis will say, I went to Odessa, so I know. Like, you went to Odessa, and who was your guide, and how did you navigate the place? What'd you do? You just walked around aimlessly looking at stuff? How are you qualified to examine these materials? Do you know the language? Can you read the stuff on the wall?
Right.
None of that stuff. Like people don't think about that stuff.
This is why Josh McDowell, when he made his apologetic claim of being a skeptic for multiple years, he kind of shot himself in the foot because he said, I traveled the world for many years as a skeptic and went to all these libraries and looked at the documents and stuff. And you go, did you go to like the guy in the back of the library and say, hey, Latin? Hey, come here. Let's go over these documents together and tell me, what is this saying Coptic? Explain to me what this is saying. And then somehow through all of your investigation and all these languages and manuscripts and whatnot, you then drew your conclusion. You know what? I got it. It's true. Why am I fighting it? It's true. That's BS.
And that's why I've been trying to learn ancient Greek and Hebrew. And so I can be better at what I do and not just be a grifter. And by the way, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to surprise you at how good at Hebrew I'm getting right now. You're going to see when we're there. I'm going to surprise you. Just saying, not to brag or anything, but I can hold my own now. I can hold my own. Put it that way.
Okay. Well, I'll be recording you and
Rabbi. Do it.
Okay.
Probably getting it all wrong.
See you butchering everything and be like, look at this dumbass right here. Like, Gnostica again would be awesome to revisit Israel as a skeptic. I always wanted to go there when I was a believer. Always. And then here's this opportunity now that I'm not. And it's like, let me go and just enjoy what I can learn and see the geography and the locations and the venerations and the you name it, right? There's the where they have Abraham buried. I don't know if we're going to be seeing, I think it did say that we're going to the burial spot of Abraham or something. I don't know. I could be wrong, but there's a lot of locations where they're claiming these things, and it'll be fun to see them, but I have huge like question marks that I, would want to ask. Aaron Adair in the hizzy. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. While in Israel, don't drink from the Dead Sea and don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you might. It's interesting. That's a high salinity of salt in there, so like you can drink that water and then die of being thirsty, die of thirst because it's taking the water out of your body. Think of that. It's a crazy concept, isn't it?
It is,
but it's so high that you can float in it too.
That I'm looking forward to just jumping in there and seeing how it makes me float and stuff.
And see what happens.
Supposedly good for your skin, of course. There's always Dead Sea salt, that's like going around for people who want to do cosmetics and get their skin and things like that.
Yeah.
Aaron, thank you so much. I promise to not drink the Kool-Aid or from the Dead Sea. I'll try not to get it in my mouth. Go ahead, Neil. Let's test those skills, bro.
Okay, that says Zav, Zabim, Zabi, Haniniga. I don't know what it means. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
What does it mean?
I don't know. So write this in English now. You're going to have to.
Share. Okay, this is share a dare. Share dare.
What's this?
This is hot or classic Iberic Neil. So I think that's my name at the end. Someone said, I don't know. I don't know what it means, but I could sound out the words. Okay. I can also ask how to order a drink and some food.
I'm looking forward to it. And do you think? I wonder. Do you think everybody there's speaking Hebrew? You think, or understands it?
No, I think there'd be a lot of English there, to be honest.
Yeah, I suspect it's so touristy. Absolutely.
How did I do, though? How did I do, by the way?
I'm looking. It was Ninja Turtles song in Hebrew.
Oh, okay. I would never.
Ninja Turtles. Yeah, Ninja Turtles. Someone else said Ninja Turtles. Raphael, Shredder. They're gonna be able to talk crap about us, man, and we're just not gonna be able to know.
You said something with my name in it. That's all. I was able to pick that out. I was able to notice that, and Yod none Yod Lama.
Better than me, Neil. Maybe that's what it. I don't know. Oh, they're saying you did better than them. I guess.
Be strong. Okay, that's what it meant. Be strong and blessed, Neil. That's what he said.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. We wanted to pop in because we're going to be gone, and it might be a couple days before we stream or anything like that when we get there. But wanted to let you know what we're going to be doing and going through the itinerary. You can go to jamestabor.com and check out the itinerary. You can see the trip. You can also plan for future tours. So he does this often, usually. When COVID hit, of course, there was a few years where they couldn't do it at all. But who knows? We might take this again in the future if it's that much fun and it's worth it. And we actually dive into the archaeology of these locations. Then it might be really worth it if we could go on a dig site or something, or go and investigate something closer. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah,
absolutely. Any final words from you, brother? Did you want to give anybody a heads up or anything?
As far as giving anyone a heads up, no.
Anything coming up on your channel?
Oh yeah, I'm working on a video right now. And should I do you want me to really get into it? I think where I'm getting at the video. No. You know what I'm working. I think I told you what I'm working on, at least, right? No.
You talking about the mythicism stuff?
I'm working on a video about mythicism, straight up.
Okay.
Now I'm going to say this right now. I think mythicism is a very plausible, fine. It's a perfectly respectable position. However, there are some mythicists who are very dogmatic about it, and they go out of their way and are very sneaky and dishonest in order to make it seem like there's a big conspiracy against mythicism, and everybody knows it's true, but they just don't want to admit it. And I'm going to demonstrate how ridiculous that is, and just kind of give my 2 cents on like a lot of people think mythicism is this, but really this is what the PhD mythicists are saying. It's not just Christians made it up, and it's everybody. And like a lot of mythicists think Paul thinks there was a guy, and he's mistaken. The people before him made it up. Mythicists aren't saying that. Mythicists are saying Paul himself was one of these people who believe in this myth in the heavens. And they claim the Greek's ambiguous. I'm going to go through that a little bit. That's part of the video. Also talk about this this so-called angel named Jesus and Philo. Talk about that. Also, I want to get into the Rag Ranklin thing. It's going to blow your mind. Mm-hmm. The Rag Ranklin thing that a lot of mythicists talk about, how there's this mythotype of these dying and rising gods, and you don't see them with any humans in history. It's only with gods and then Jesus. That's not true. I have about 50 people in history who rank more than half on the Rag Ranklin scale. So that's going to be, I'm going to demonstrate that, show you, not just make the claim. I'm going to show you how where it is, show you why I got to that number.
Now I'm like 15 on that joker, aren't I? I'm just
kidding. You're pretty high on that list.
I wish.
But no, I don't want to make it seem like that I think mythicists are dumb and they're all idiots. No, like it's very possible that mythicism could be true. It's just that there's no way of proving it right now with the data that we have, and it's actually more. It's when we talk about the what is it called, the like basically what I'm saying is with the information that we have right now, if mythicism was true, you would have evidence for it. And what I mean by that is not like when somebody says, "Show me evidence that God doesn't exist." That's a dumb question. You can't have evidence for something that doesn't exist. But for mythicism, that's not the case, because mythicism is a claim about historical period in time. If mythicism was true, there would be people in history contesting that Jesus was a human. You would have sources and material from the Jews, from Celsus, from somebody, and we have all these heresies recorded that are not lost in time. We have all the heresies. We have Docetism. We have Ebionite Christianity, but there's nothing about Christians who are mythicists. It's just not there. And for people to delete all that somehow is very unlikely. It's literally legitimately a conspiracy theory. Like by definition, it's a conspiracy. It's a theory that there was a conspiracy to delete the real Christianity and replace it with a euhemerized version. Mm-hmm. Not saying that it's not a conspiracy theory compared to, like, I don't know, aliens or 9/11 stuff, but it still is by definition a theory that's a conspiracy.
So. Right. I have said this before too. I think there's definitely some validity to that, and I definitely look forward to what you have to say. I know that you've engaged in these actually recently. You've gotten more engaged with mythicist debate and whatnot. And while I take a position, what I wished happened was people weren't crapping on people on both ends. It's not just mythicists, right? There are people that kind of look at mythicists and say, this is ridiculous. And they do have a very strong stance.
They're all fundamentalists.
Well, that's the problem, is it's like both sides. We shouldn't do that to mythicists. We shouldn't do that to people who are historicists.
I really hope I don't come off that way in the video, because nobody can say there 100% was a guy, and the extra biblical sources are terrible. There's no physical evidence that he existed. We don't really know much about him other than it looks like people agree that somebody was crucified under Pilate. That's what it looks like. Right. And so that's what, and until I get something that conflicts with that, I have to, like, it, you kind of have to stick with that for the time being, just because, like, it sounds ridiculous to a mythicist who are like, well, why are you just going to believe that? Well, why do we believe anything? Like, why not doubt that Caesar crossed the Rubicon? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not, and that's probably a bad example because we have tons of evidence for that. But what I'm saying is, when we're talking about things that happen in history, you don't just doubt it just because you want to doubt it. Like, you have to have a reason to doubt it. If that makes sense.
No, I definitely think that makes sense. And there's a lot of reasons to look into this more. I want people to be less dogmatic either way, but draw conclusions and not look at other people and just smash them because they disagree with you on a conclusion, or vice versa.
I mean,
right?
it's like Litwin says something about the ascension of Isaiah. And instead of saying, I disagree with him on this point right here, this is what I think is the case. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. He is so incompetent. How did he get a PhD? This is ridiculous. He never even read my book. And it's like, did anyone even ask him to read your book? No. Why should he read your book? Does everyone have to read your book to discuss mythicism? Because I don't think so. It's not like there's a requirement to talk about mythicism. You have to read this one book. It's like saying to talk about Christianity, you have to read the King James Bible, or else it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It's like it's kind of weird like that,
Yeah, I don't. I know this is talking about Richard Carrier and his recent article, and I think that if someone is trying to engage with mythicism and they actually want to purposely try to critique or challenge it, I think it's worth investigating it and critiquing it. But that's also what your video is going to be doing as you respond, right? You're kind of be taking criticisms to the source.
Yeah. A lot. Like I am definitely responding to stuff that's in Carrier's book on the historicity of Jesus, because I mean that's what mythicists want you to do. If you want to discuss mythicism, that's the book you got to go to, because it's peer reviewed. Like that,
right.
Like that makes a case law to them. Like I don't think they realize what peer review actually is. It's not that big of a deal. Like people get peer reviewed for all kinds of stuff that isn't true. Like Gary Habermas is peer reviewed for why the resurrection happened. And it's not that he proved the resurrection happened. It's that he followed the requirements to get a peer review. He did everything necessary for an academic publisher to say, okay, this is your opinion. This is what your sources are. You have all your stuff lined up. Peer review passed. That's it. That doesn't mean he solved it and he cracked open a brand new, this is like new scientific evidence. Like that's not what that is. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Well, I've never done peer review myself, right? But I have talked to James Tabor, and Dr. Tabor, when I went to visit him in Charlotte as he was getting ready to retire, he was recalling one of my friends who took his course and went and got his degree through that Charlotte University, or I can't remember the name of the university, but it's in Charlotte. And he did his dissertation, and Dr. Tabor and a couple of the colleagues were the ones listening to him present it, and they disagree with the conclusion 100%.
Sure.
Like they totally disagree. They made him go and sharpen a few things that they thought he could do better before he, passed through with peer review. They totally disagreed, but then they gave him like a thumbs up at the end of the day and saying like, okay, you passed your dissertation on this PhD program. Where I may be getting this wrong here, the dissertation and the peer review, but it seems that it's being peer reviewed in the process of getting your PhD. So you can disagree with the conclusions of something and still pass it. Like I'm fairly confident that Bart Ehrman disagrees with his student Jason Staples on many conclusions, and he got his PhD, and of course it was being tested by Bart Ehrman. So there's a lot of stuff to dive in here, I think, and I hope that this keeps the conversation going. But what I don't want is me on this is to create such tension and animosity. I wish people would not use the rhetoric that they used in antagonistically attacking others in their education. And I am speaking of Richard Carrier and others who are just kind of like, you're an apologist if you think there was a guy. That's silly to me.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
The blogs have been getting more and more as the time, like recently, have been getting more and more Ralph Ellisy, where, oh my God, the dominoes are falling. They have to admit that I've been right the whole time, and they won't apologize to me. Like you sound like if you go to Ralph Ellis's Facebook page, that's the rhetoric you see over there. Everybody's out to get me. They're all attacking me. They know Jesus was the king of Edessa. But they don't want to admit it. Like that's what you sound like. And I'm just look. I have never seen Bart ever like attack Carrier that way. Never. Litwood definitely didn't do that in that video. And the video that they were reviewing for 2 hours definitely didn't attack him that way. He did say that some of his stuff was misleading and borderline. What do you say? He said misinformation. That's not questioning somebody's PhD and calling them incompetent. That's what he thinks. That's what he believes. He thinks it's misinformation. Now I feel like that's not like a That's not an attack on somebody's character or questioning their credentials. That's different, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I could say you're wrong.
Yeah.
I could say I think what you just said is not factually correct.
You can say I think what you just said is misinformation and it's wrong.
Incorrect or wrong, and still think that you're, bright and you deserve and earned your degree that you have gotten, etc. But here's the thing: I think that the hot words that you saw in the article, I don't think he doesn't. This is the weird thing: is when someone who's reading it would walk away with it with what you're describing there, but like. Richard was like, hey, I've got somebody who's interested in going and getting the ancient Greek mystery course by Dr. Litwa right after that article was published. So to me, it's like maybe he does value certain things. And then in this case, he's saying this, but I think what happens, and this is why I don't like that rhetoric. Most people aren't academics, number one, who are reading this material. Right. Number two, it's but like,
you remember when you read it, think it's crank.
But you remember when Jesus would say in the Gospels, to give you an analogy, where he's like, they make him twice the devil as they are by crossing land and sea, by making proselytes. The Pharisees are making proselytes and they're making them twice as bad. Well, a lot of people who are reading this material are dogmatic to the next level, almost to a fundamentalist degree. So it's like, if Jesus did exist, goodness gracious, that means he probably walked on water, or somehow they sound like they can't even wrestle, not all,
well, this is
that they can't imagine there probably was maybe a guy at the base.
Well, I was a mythicist, so I understand that position. It's very easy to jump when you stop believing and then you look for the evidence and there is none. There's no physical evidence. It's very easy to just say, holy shit, there's no guy. And so I get that. But back to that video, that the reason why I'm doing like this all came from the video that John did with Carrier about Litwa. And I noticed in the video, it reminds me of like an inspiring philosophy TikTok where he'll like watch some scholar like talk about how the Sumerians have a different flood myth, and it'll cut to him and he'll say, actually, the evidence doesn't say that, but he won't show you anything. He just refutes it and moves on. And you look in his comment section, and all of the inspiring philosophy people are like, yeah, you defeated him. Yeah, we got him. And all they're looking for is any response at all. I noticed that with this video. I noticed that John and Carrier, they were addressing these points, and Carrier would just say, that is so incorrect. That's just incorrect. I don't know where he got it from. But it's like, okay, show us what he's wrong about. Share your screen. Show us the material. Let's go to the manuscript evidence. None of that happened. It was just point by point him saying, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And I was surprised to see the next day the regular mythicists that we know sharing this link and being like, I can't believe that this scholar is misrepresenting the evidence and he's a liar. They're calling him a liar. And I've had like 3 or 4 private messages with mythicists in the last 24 hours asking them, what did Litwa lie about? Well, he misrepresented the scholarship. What scholarship? Nothing. It's just they just wanted Carrier to say something. Carrier gave an answer. That's good enough. We have a PhD from Columbia who says Lit was wrong. Therefore, Lit was wrong. He called him a liar. Therefore, Lit was a liar. And I just think that's weak. To me, that's weak. I want to see more than that. I'm not convinced that Lit was a liar based just because one guy says he is. And by the way, it's just kind of ironic that it's the guy who's been kind of critical of Carrier for a little while that he's acting this way. It's not just
yeah. I think there's beef. I definitely think
of the blue, right.
There is definitely some past beef. And in fact, I think in How the Gospels Became History, I think it was Litwa's book, he made a critical response in like a page or two about mythicism in there. He didn't delve and like dwell on it too long, but I do know that goes back for a minute. Yeah, there's so much. So when are you planning on launching this video?
I'm hoping to be able to release it the day we leave for Israel.
Okay.
The day, like the 20th. I'll probably have it ready by then.
Well, I hope people will go subscribe, if not for the very least to bring your critical thinking skills.
Oh, and one more thing I want to address. I've had a few people ask me, dude, what's going to happen to your subscribers once you start going against the mythicists? Honestly, I'm not even thinking about that, nor do I care. Because the day I start making videos to please certain groups of people is the day I'm working a job for like I was when I was in the factory. Like that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about the truth. It's about history. It's about mythology. It's about getting into different concepts. It's not about pleasing certain groups so that I can get more views. I don't care if I lose subscribers. That's to me that's not even close to anything on my mind. So just want to throw that out there. If I lose 4 or 5 people because of this, even if it's a couple Patreon members, well, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I understand that. And I mean, you want to get to the bottom of what is the facts and the data. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I hope in this process that we aren't being overly dogmatic. That's all I could say. Keep measuring the data. Now, if you come to a strong conclusion, draw that conclusion, base it on the evidence you have, present that evidence, and go with it. For me, I definitely think there was a guy. I lean that direction. I'd say where I'm at 75, 80% is where I lean that there was a guy. That doesn't mean I know with certainty, but it's like there's so much that leans me in this direction that makes me think that. But
no, and that's why I'll still, even after all this, I will still defend mythicism as a credible position that shouldn't be laughed at. Like people like Ehrman does kind of laugh at it.
Yeah.
It's like saying the moon is cheese. No. This is something that people really should be discussing because it's definitely possible. So I just want people to know that too. Like I'm going to continue to be that way, you know?
Yeah, you should be. I mean, I don't see why that would be a bad thing to hold to. Anyway, look, Brother Garfield in the house. Truth is truth, no matter who it comes from. Some wise words right there.
I wanted to get you on my channel.
You need to get him on the whole Hebrew Israelite thing, dude.
Yes, like I'll message you tonight at some point. So we'll set that up.
His book's got a lot of scholarship in it, so go check it out.
Yeah, I watch his channel all the time. He sees me in the chat. He knows. I watch his channel all the time. I love his channel.
I think that's the root to the issues.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think he thinks like us too. I think he's on the there was a guy basis. Also, join our membership program if you want to stand out among the crowd in the chat. We've got the Patreon. I've got 6 videos already up, busting my hump. And in fact, thanks to Neil helping edit them, just to show people. These are the 6 videos. The only one that we have out right now is the Did This Happen one in the bottom left on the screen. So that one's already released. The other 5 are on the Patreon. I don't plan on dropping one of them. Maybe I'll drop one over the next 2 weeks. I may not, because this is how I keep the lights going here at MythVision and everybody who helps keep us going and stuff like that for these trips and just doing what I'm doing and getting more scholarship and traveling. I had to fly all the way to Boston and recorded with Paula, which, by the way, she told me up front, like, I don't do interviews like that. She's only been on news interviews and done like lectures and college course level type stuff. So join our Patreon. Also, go check out James Tabor's blog. Go subscribe. He's got all sorts of neat stuff, but he also has the itinerary of our trip that's going to happen in a few days. Be on the lookout. We're going to be posting lives and giving you teasers and stuff along the way and getting a lot of great content recorded. We've got the M. David Litwa Ancient Greek Mysteries course here. Go down in the description and join that. And awesome. The Finding Moses. Bart, I've done like 5 or 6 different courses with Bart that are down in the description. So
and just to show you that I'm not dogmatic against atheism, I'm not on some like crusade against mythicism. Carrier's doing a course with you in November, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm gonna help out with that. I'm gonna do some editing for you. I'm gonna sell the course. I really just want to rebuttal the way he's been acting. That's all. And I hope he can see why I'm being this way. And he has every right to write blogs about me, do it, whatever, man. I can handle it. So
yeah,
I'm in the public sphere for a reason, because I can handle the criticisms and stuff. So I hope that he doesn't take it personal, even though it does seem that way, because he does, call people liars and he gets kind of nasty. And I think he's dishonest. But at the end of the day, material is material, and good courses.
Right.
And I think there's something, I
plan on doing like 5 or 6 courses with him. And there's a lot. I mean, the guy is sharp. There's no doubts about that. What would you do if he titled an article and he says, Neil was born with a penis-shaped birthmark on his butt cheek? What if he titled it that? Would you?
Who cares?
Yeah. How would you feel if he started it off with Neil has a penis-shaped birthmark on his butt cheek?
How did he know? How did he find out?
Okay. That was a little over the top, I guess. Jason Rosenberg, I'd love to say hi in person. Can't afford the tour for now, but meeting up to say hello would be awesome. Well, we'll be at, I suspect, at one of these hotels. If you go to jamestabor.com and look at the itinerary, we're supposed to be at some of these hotels. And if you're nearby, that would be cool to just be able to come visit and see us. That I would love that. What do you think about that, Neil?
I would love it. I'm down. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Why not? I don't even think that's a question. Of course. Of course.
Awesome. Awesome. Look, destroyed, they said. People are laughing. They think it's a joke about your birthmark. They need to listen. He shows it on his OnlyFans account. Make sure you go check it out.
Subscribe by Patreon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Derek Cruz says, enjoy your trip, you two. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. I'm on the lookout. I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table, Neil. And it's just going to create more controversy and conversation. So let's hope we have that conversation. And maybe at some point maybe one day you and Carrier can have a discussion about the topic. Sure. I mean, he is obviously.
I would love to hear him clear up the angel named Jesus and Philo thing. That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe he'll do that in the course. Maybe. Actually, by the way, and this is I'm gonna say this right now. In this video, steel man his argument. His argument about this angel named Jesus is not based off nothing. There is something there. I'm going to show you why it's there. It's not like he's just completely making it up. He's just being a little sneaky of how he describes it and a little dishonest about it, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's got something that I'm not seeing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm looking at the text Philo. I'm looking at the Greek. I got my teacher who teaches me Greek, asking him about it. I'm looking at Zechariah, the Septuagint. I'm looking at this stuff. So let's see. I'd love to see what he says on why he decided to say that Philo has an angel named Jesus, who's the Logos. It'd be interesting to see him cover that. So,
okay. Well, go subscribe to Neil. Thank you to everybody who super chatted today and just showing love. I hope that our trip is safe, number one. Number two, I hope we learn a lot while we're there and we cover a lot of footage and we can bring back some amazing content for everybody who watches MythVision and Gnostic Informant. And number three is we're going to have that birthmark removed from Neil when we get there. So
yes,
I'm going to film it too. So it definitely can't go on YouTube.
That's exclusive content. Yeah, that's got to go just highest level tier Patreon.
Highest level. You want to see the
$100 for that one.
The butt cheeks of Gnostic Informant. That's what I'm going to title that film. And yeah, let's see what we have. And is that the real question I need you to guess is that birthmark circumcised or uncircumcised in the shape it is right now? So these are big questions we need to know, along the way.
Melody's important,
I know. Melody's right. Poor you, man. But yeah, thanks for joining me, man, today. And I'm looking forward to what our trip is, meeting in person for the first time as well, too, because we've never met in person yet. And we have so much in common in life.
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be surreal to see you, man.
It is. It is going to be real. Be on the lookout, everybody. Never forget, we are MythVision, and
you just attained true gnosis.